The mommies, we share from experience. Moms talk about things that affect moms in general. The mommy entrepreneurs, we are the moms that handle business, and that means a lot. Remember, Entrepremommies.
Hello, and welcome to Entrepremommies. I am Tiffany Tracey, aka the Resellqueen.
Hello, and I'm Nicole Flamer.
And we are your hosts, the Entrepremommies, the mommies who handle business. So if you are looking at our topics today, we're just going to talk about what's going on in our businesses, and then we're going to get to the hot topic of the week, which is Dana Chanel. At least that's what she's known by on Instagram. So, so how has your business and your week been, Nikki?
Oh, well, my business has been okay. It's experiencing the Christmas rush. So I've had an increase in sales. Same old. I can't really, I really haven't had any bumps or bruises along the way so far. I've been doing pretty good. I right now personally and professionally, I'm just trying to get a flow. I think I mentioned that last week of, now that I'm pretty much unpacked and I'm trying to set up my office. I'm in my room right now because my kids are home today. Half of my kids are home today. And my office doesn't have a door. So, but, I'm just trying to get the flow and get a nice stable schedule for myself where I can work and still, I have new chores and new responsibilities, but I still have my business thing. And I was in the midst of a transition anyway, just transitioning like graphics and logo and design, web design. Like I'm transitioning my look for the business and also what I'm going to be selling. Like I'm changing what I'm selling. I'm really condensing what I'm offering on my website. I had at one time I had like over 200 products on my website. Now I'm going to scale down to maybe about 50. So I have to go back, write descriptions, things like that, and trying to find time to do all that stuff. That's where I'm trying to create that balance. So, and then it's holidays, so kids are home, there's things to do, there's responsibilities with that, people that you want to see or people that want to see you. So it's trying to balance all that is challenging, but hey, that's what it's all about, right?
Right. All right. So this week, actually, well, I should say this last week, as far as sales, I'm doing really good with sales. And I've changed my core product as far as what I'm reselling. I'm mostly staying in the niche of like health and beauty. And I wasn't sure how that was going to work during the Christmas season. But it seems like people are stocking up on the stuff they need. Like I can't tell you how much mascara I sell. Which is hilarious to me. Like people are buying 2 and 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
And I guess if you think about it, okay, maybe they realize, okay, we are finally at a time where, yes, the COVID numbers are ticking up, but most people are vaccinated. Maybe they're around people that are vaccinated. We're going to have a lot of family things happening, like myself included. I just came back from Coatesville this weekend. My family, we decided that we wanted to have a gathering where we weren't dealing with a tragedy. Right. And so we came together, did a big Thanksgiving meal with everybody. And it was great to have. It's one of those things that when those things happen, I am so happy that I made the choices that I made to do these type of things for business, because I can make at changes to my schedule at any moment. So
Mhm.
if for some reason I needed to go out really quick to pick something up, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't
Mhm.
like I had to worry about, oh, when my break, uh, is my boss going to let me off?
Mhm.
Those type of things that
Yeah.
when it gets to this season, it's always an issue in an office to take some time off around the
Mhm.
holiday. And the
Yeah.
person that's been there the longest, they ain't giving up nothing.
No.
Okay.
No.
When
Not at all.
when you're in an office, or actually it's not just an office, but anywhere, any job, the person who's
Mhm.
been there the longest, they are like, I've been here the longest. I'm taking off Thanksgiving, I'm taking off Christmas, and I'm getting all my time. And you can't
Mhm.
really tell them no, they earned it,
Right.
but even if you just started a year or two ago, you might have, considering what we've all been through,
Right.
family right now is very important. And you may want to be
Yes.
around your family, because we don't know what's going to happen after COVID, or if
Right.
there is going to be an after COVID, you
Mhm.
know. So family time is very important. And the traveling right now, that I was just watching a
That's
report,
there.
and
Yeah.
the traveling numbers are going up very, very high
Mhm.
for this week. So I'm traveling again. So I
Right.
saw my family, and thankfully dropped off my youngest. So he's being uh, taken care of by the grandmoms this week.
Right.
He's out of school, and he needs a break too. Let
Mhm.
me tell you, when I left, he couldn't contain his smile.
Mhm.
Because he's like, yes, I get a break from this crazy lady. You know,
Right.
he
Right.
couldn't contain himself. I saw it.
Right.
And it's not just me that needs it. He needs it too.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm grateful that I have the opportunities to do those type of things, to
Right.
go back and
Mhm.
forth to drive the 4.5 hour drive that it's going to be on Wednesday.
Right.
So I can
Mhm.
be there. But business wise, I did do, I don't like to call it experimenting, but it's these rising costs of shipping are eating up my profits.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I just had
There goes
look,
one. Get out of here. Oh.
look at her.
Okay. Hurry up. We get it. It's over there.
That's what happens when you're a
Yes.
mommy.
Mhm.
So, uh, the rising cost of shipping has made
Mhm.
it so
Oh
that
gosh.
it's eating into my profits.
Mhm.
So I have I had to raise my prices, and I wasn't sure about it. And
Mhm.
I, I've decided I kind of just did it a small increase, and I'm going to do another increase because I don't
Mhm.
want it to seem like I don't want to go from like something small and affordable to something huge and unrealistic. But
Right.
shipping is becoming very expensive. You know,
Shipping is
on
becoming. Yes.
on
Yes.
my wholesale items, I'm making anywhere between $5 to $7. That's
Mhm.
actually what I make. But it's eating into the point where with shipping, it might be only $3 or $4 of what I
Right.
make.
Yes. I had
And
that
then I
experience.
have to make that decision. Well, is it worth my time? Well, if I sell
Mhm.
20 of them, it's not bad, but is it worth my time? So I said, well, these are hot sellers, so I know that I make my money. Let's add that price up just a little bit just to deal with shipping. And that's what
Mhm.
I did. And I am happily surprised that it's not an
Mhm.
issue.
Yeah.
I didn't see a slowdown in sales. I, in fact, because I do offer discounts when you buy more than one, it's
Mhm.
actually cheaper for me when you buy more than one because because of shipping. I can ship them all together.
Right.
Um, it's actually working out, and the prices of shipping are going to go back. Well, they go down after the holiday, and
Mhm.
then in January they've already announced for the post office that they're going to raise the rates. So
Oh, great.
I'm like, I might as well just keep my prices the same,
Mhm.
and I'm probably going to add maybe another 50, 25 cents according to whatever that additional cost is going to be. It
Mhm.
used to be if something, I don't really like to do anything over a pound on my
Right.
wholesale stuff. So
Right.
it used to be if it's under a pound, I didn't have to worry about paying under like 350, 360.
Right. Yeah.
Now some of these places it's like $4 some dollars. And I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa. And it's not like
Yeah.
it's going to California,
Yeah.
or Hawaii or
Yeah.
Alaska, because that's where it's expensive. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is going in the Midwest. Why is
Mhm.
this so expensive? And I'm
Yeah.
getting discounts on the shipping,
Mhm.
and it's still so expensive. So I had to make that choice of, okay, I we had to raise our prices. So
Right.
it's working out. Okay, we're getting the sales. So it's working. So we're going to raise some prices again, because it's not
Yeah.
like I'm trying to be greedy, but I have to make sure that we're able to make a living, because
Right.
this is not a hobby,
Right.
you know,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
because that,
Well, I'm feeling like there might be a shift as far as, you know, even with drop shipping, because it's catering more to the larger retailers than it is to the smaller retailers. And so I'm, trying to look at the trends, trying to look at, where it's hard to predict, like you said, with COVID, whether how much of a factor that's going to stay, the supply chain issues. So I'm definitely doing research on, ways to streamline my shipping process, because the rates are becoming ridiculous. And like for some things I use priority shipping for some things, and that just doubled for me, and which almost took out all of my profit. And I have to raise my prices as well, because it's like I can't compete with that. I mean, you double up on priority shipping, and that's it, so yeah, I'm looking at the trends to see where things are going. I'm also looking at doing more local things, because um, that's tricky. Just because if you have some sort of like brick and mortar, or if you have some sort of like, if you're going to, you know um, outdoor marketplaces to sell your goods, um, the challenge will be like, the COVID issues, the number of people there,
yes.
how much exposure you want to put on yourself. I went to a craft fair this weekend, and I was looking at what people were offering, really great products, um, really beautiful types of things that you would see on Etsy. Um,
Okay.
and I was curious about their sales. I mean, I think I spent about an hour and a half there, and traffic was moderate. It wasn't particularly heavy, but weighing in the factor of, if you buy a table, if you take the time and energy to gather up your stuff, create a display, um, and then your time of sitting there for like 2 to 4 hours, is it worth doing that? I mean, it has to be worth it, just like you're saying. It has to make sense, even with your time wise. um, so I'm just weighing different things. It might be time for a shift, it might be time for a pivot into something different. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. I mean, I think in the last 2 years I've had to pivot twice. What I mean, just to keep up with the changing marketplace. So might be time for another one. So
Well,
mhm.
yeah, for us, we have it's an indoor flea market. Like we have our own stand there, and of course, we pay a fee. We actually have three
Mhm.
booths. We pay a fee on each booth. Um, Thankfully, we don't have to man it. If we had to man it,
Oh,
we wouldn't do
okay.
it. But
That's good. Yeah.
it's an indoor flea market. They man it. They pay the sales taxes, which works out. Of course, they
Mhm.
take they make back, because actually I'm thinking about, I'm like, I need to do this myself. They
Mhm.
get monthly. They get a monthly rate, plus
Mhm.
they make a certain percentage off of each sale. So they're doing okay with that, and
Okay.
we've been doing great over there, because there's a lot of hobby type of stuff, but we've been doing great with
Mhm.
the bigger items, where if we were to list them, you list it, you pay for shipping,
Mhm.
pay the fees, and you're like, gosh, it's a good item, but is it worth me taking the time to create a listing, do all of that, and maybe only make $10, which you're like, wow, you don't want to make $10. Actually, I want to make 20. So
Right.
if I take it over to this
Exactly. Yeah.
place and sell it locally, I make more
Mhm.
money because I don't have to worry
Right.
about the shipping. Of course, I have the
Yeah.
fees, through the other place, and then plus those people get to see more of my items, so they might buy
Mhm.
more,
Right.
so that has always been a good money maker for us. It's
Mhm.
always that when those checks come in on the first. Well, I can't say the first. Normally, like in between the first and the fifth is when those checks
Mhm.
come in, and every time I see them, I'm like, wow, you selling that much? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
That's a nice surprise because you don't have to
it's
man
a nice
it.
surprise. Now
Yeah.
we get a little rundown like in the middle of the month, like where we are type of thing. But
Yeah.
it's it's a it's nice because the only job I have to really do is make sure whatever is there works, and
Mhm.
then label the items. That's all
Yeah.
I have to do.
Yeah.
And for me, that's worth my time.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, that's when you're making money in your sleep. When you're
Yes.
over there making money. And for me as a business owner, time is money. So
Mhm.
I need to make sure that my time that I'm being paid for it, and that even when I'm not there, I'm still getting paid for it.
Right.
That's really what a regular job is. You're getting paid
Right.
for your time. They
Yes.
want 8 hours of your life to do 8 hours worth of work.
Right.
Are you really doing 8 hours worth of work? That's a whole nother show. But
Right.
they're paying you for your time, and it's an exchange in time, and then you think about,
Mhm.
which was the whole landscape of like what we talked about the other week about the great resignation. People
Mhm.
realize, I don't want to do this anymore. I
Right.
don't have to commute.
Yeah.
I Now, because it's now a thing for remote work, it's like, wait a minute. You mean I don't have to go into an office and be around people I can't stand?
Mhm. Yeah.
Deal with a crappy boss? Oh, let me make some changes. You
Yes.
know, it's changing. Now is gone are the days of yours have to be stuck at a job. You
Right.
don't have to.
Yeah.
So I'll just get me a little bit of water right there. Oh, well. So, Nikki, nav.com. I love nav.com because nav.com helps small business owners with creating their own business, making sure that they have all their legal paper and documentation. It will show you how to set yourself up in each state. You just click on your state and it gives you all that information. I think it's one of the best tools for any budding entrepreneur. And
Mm.
then after it does all of that, it helps you with your credit score. It helps you
Yeah.
with your personal score, and it helps you with your business credit score. It even gives you recommendations of things that you should apply for.
Mhm.
It just makes sense. You're going to run a business, you need to make sure that it's legal. It will help you through that process. And
Mhm.
actually, you can do all that without paying a price.
Yeah.
The link is on our description box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hit it up, people.
Just to add to that, I meet a lot of people and they don't know, they have a good business idea and they don't know what to do. They don't know what the first step is. And nav.com is a good starting point. If you don't know, because there's tutorials on there. Like if you don't
Yes.
know how to set up, what kind of setup, what's the difference between a sole proprietorship and an LLC? Like it has guides on there for you to help you kind of figure out what you're doing. Because sometimes you come up with the idea, but starting a business, it's not necessarily we. It's one of those things I think we should learn in high school. Those that would be so helpful. I mean,
Huh.
maybe they're doing it now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be
They
really cool
sure
if
weren't
they
doing it when we were in school.
but they right, just those important things, credit what the importance of credit, I would have loved a class on that. Yeah. So if you're starting out and you need that extra guidance because you don't have it, and most of us don't starting out, NAV's a good starting place for that.
I would agree,
Yeah.
especially if you don't know where to begin. Those tutorials are very, very, very good. A lot of times I think people think starting a business, it's an intimidating process,
Yes.
and like for us, we're kind of, it's like secondhand for us. It's like, oh, I'm going to start this company, so let me set up this LLC to be under that holding company. We're kind of used to that process, but if you've never done it before, it can be intimidating.
Yes.
It could be very, very scary of, I don't know what I'm doing, and then people go out and pay way more than they should to some of these places to set things up for things that they can do themselves. They just need someone to show them, click here, click here, click here.
Yep.
So on to our main topic today. All right. So this topic kind of hits home for us, as since you are in Pennsylvania, I'm a fellow Pennsylvanian.
Right.
I don't know these people to say I could walk up to them up the street and be like, hey, what's up? But I know these people.
Okay.
If you've ever been to like a networking business event or something like that, you're like, wait a minute, I saw them there. You know what I'm saying? So when this came out about Instagram influencer Dana Chanel scamming small Black businesses, I decided, all right, we need to learn a little bit about this chick and why this is important and why we need to talk about it. First and foremost, before I even get started, I want to say I don't know these people personally. I have been in the same room with them, but I don't know them personally. Some of the information that I found on news articles, and also shout out to Unwind with Tasha K. She had an interview with another entrepreneurial person, and she asked them some questions about Dana Chanel, and they gave up some tape and some information of what they had, and I got that information from watching Unwind with Tasha K, which if you're into anything about Black gossip,
that's the place to go. Yeah,
that's the place to go. But also, far as business wise, that's why I like to watch her, is because I've seen her progression from her doing her show in her bedroom to now she basically has like a full-fledged studio.
Yeah.
Okay. She has, and I've watched, like, now she has her own app, or I should say her own streaming service that has all of her regular videos, but also has things that she's not putting out on YouTube or on Patreon. So she owns her own content. So, she's, if I would say, if you are looking towards, how should I do YouTube? She's how I would do it. Not saying that you have to follow the same track of what she talks about, but I've watched her, and I look at that as a master class.
Definitely.
Of this is how you do a YouTube. She doesn't really do social media as much. Like, she's on there, of course, but she can literally go live on YouTube, no notice.
Right.
And she gets 10,000 views.
Yes, immediately. Yeah.
Immediately.
Just looking out for her.
You're like, oh, they get the notification. Oh, Tasha K on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when it plays originally. Let's not even talk about after the live is over. So and I say all that because I want you to know that I got this from a reputable place.
Okay.
Because I don't want people like, oh, they just on here just talking some gossip. No, I got this from a reputable place. TMZ has even taken her exclusives and put them on their site and was like, according to YouTuber Tasha K, this is what happened, and so she is verifiable. I'll put it that
Right.
way. And she has said, for not just with these people, but there are times when she's gotten stories and she's like, I ain't putting that out. That don't sound right. And
Right.
to me, that's a person that understands their craft. So
Yeah.
as I talk about certain things, I don't want it to be like, where'd she get that information? That don't make any sense. Oh, it came from a good source.
Right.
So I want to get that started. So
Okay.
one of the things that is happening with Dana Chanel, and I believe it's also her husband, and I believe it also includes her father.
Oh, okay.
The Attorney General of Pennsylvania is coming after them because they are promoting products and services to small businesses, and people are like, we get ripped off. You know, it's not like a situation where, like, if someone buys from us and they're like, I paid $6 and I never got my product. We ain't talking about that.
No.
We're talking about people paying a couple hundred, a couple thousand for services and getting ghosted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's nothing like that. So this couple, now I was going to first say Dana Chanel is her name on Instagram. That's not her government name. Her government name is Casey Oliveira.
Okay.
So I'm going to refer to her as Casey. Her husband's name is, I believe it's Prince is his name.
Prince,
is
just seeing that.
Prince
I was just
yeah.
Prince
And
Donald.
That's it. Yes. Prince Donald, or I don't know, is it Donald or Donnell? I'm not sure. Yeah. I want to say Donnell, but I might be wrong.
Donnell, okay.
But her father, who as I said, I don't know these people personally, but I know who they are, you know, enough to go, oh, that's so-and-so when I'm out in Philly. I didn't know his government name, but according to this one article, his name is Nakia Rattray. Nakia Rattray. I don't know him as that name. I know him as Magic.
Okay.
He's another small business owner that provides services, you know, to people running side hustles and things like that. So they have several businesses. So they own the husband owns a business called Jumpin' Jack Taxes, which is like what he does now. And I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting this information from Tasha K because she did her own little research on the business where she even called franchise owners and spoke to them. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That's why I said she's reputable. What that is, it's a tax, you know, a tax preparation service, just like H&R Block, all those other tax services. And what he does is you take a course on learning how to run a tax software business. And then you franchise under him. And so you get your own, you get a course, and then you get your own franchise.
Okay.
And it's kind of genius because he makes money off the course and he makes money off the franchise.
Yeah.
Now, Tasha K, she spoke to other franchise owners, and she said she didn't talk to anyone that was that upset. They felt that
so that's legitimate.
That's legitimate. She said some people did say that the course itself, they felt in some parts was a little unorganized, and some people didn't fully understand the whole franchise model or didn't opt for it. So they had to pay more up front. But she said for the most part, for that particular business, she didn't see any issues. But where the Attorney General is saying that they've done things that they shouldn't have, or taking people's money, was through another business called Alakazam Apps and Credit Exterminators. which has now been rebranded as the Earn Company.
Okay.
Okay. Now, at first, I'm like, Alakazam apps. And then I realized, boom, her daddy's known as Magic.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And it's starting to make more sense now, because I'm like, why would you name something Alakazam? Because that means my money gonna disappear. But it makes sense. Now,
Yeah.
the way that company works is they create an app for you for your business, and you use that app for your business. Well, it turned out what they were really doing is reselling another app making company. So
Oh, okay.
they were in a way like white labeling it,
Yeah.
but they were also taking other people's audiences,
Mhm.
allegedly,
Okay.
and remarketing to them. So
Okay.
if I have the company and you come to me to create your app,
Mm-hmm.
I create your app and you start using the app. I also host it and all of that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have now access to your client list
Right.
because they've
Yeah.
all downloaded the app. So now I'm going to start marketing to them.
That's what she was doing, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Okay.
And also holding people's client list hostage.
Mm.
So if you didn't pay them, because after people saw that this was happening, they're like, wait a minute, no, I don't want any parts of this. You can't be remarketing to my people. They don't want
Yeah.
that. That the money every month still keeps coming out. There was one business owner who I saw in a video. They were like, the only way we were able to stop them from taking more money from us, we had to completely close the card.
Yeah, I saw that on the video. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
whoa, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And then they also have this company called the Credit Exterminators, which they've rebranded as the Earn Company.
Mm-hmm.
They were originally charging, I think, about $300 or so
Mm-hmm.
for a package, but really that didn't take care of the services. You needed to pay more, which for some people they were paying upwards to $2,000 to $3,000, and then they would get ghost.
Wow.
So, and those are the two companies that the Attorney General is focusing on. Now, she does have some other companies. She has one called the Curl Bible,
Mm-hmm.
which, if I understand it, what it's really used more is like a virtual marketplace for Black hair care products.
Okay.
And then she has something called Sprinkle of Jesus, which you get emailed or on an app, inspirational quotes.
Okay.
So now, and these people, how can I say, parade themselves as Christian business owners.
Yeah.
So hence the Curl Bible, Sprinkle Jesus.
Okay. That's where the Bible came from. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Now, how am I going to put this? I'm not going up against anyone that wants to use their religion or their faith in their business.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to say you're a Christian, you need to start acting like one in your business. If that's how you're going to, if that's the face of it, if the face of it is with faith, you need to make sure that you act within your faith.
Right.
That's my opinion. Okay. when it comes to that. And to me, it all kind of breaks down to lack of handling your business or understanding your processes.
Yeah.
Because selling products and selling services are two different things.
Correct.
So when you sell a service, you need an onboarding process.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure that when people start with your company, that there is a process that they start with. I was just actually helping another entrepreneur with this. And by the way, this is not something that I do like as a service. I was just talking as a one entrepreneur to another that's a friend and said, maybe this is what you need to do. And as when a person pays you their money, they need to know upfront what they're paying for.
Right.
That needs to be disclosed before you get the money. So you need to have a prospecting email that gives all of that information and puts it in black and white before they ever pay you. So when they contact you again, they can say, I was reading over that email and I think package AYZ, whatever, is the one that fits my business. That's when I want to purchase. They purchase it, boom. Then they start to get these emails. There are companies that I personally use that send out emails to my subscribers.
Right.
I can keep a whole track of emails that I send out to people, and I can input that whole system automatically.
Yes.
And by the way, it's free. I don't pay for this service.
Right.
Okay. You can set things up like that. You don't have to sit there and write an email every time. So it makes me wonder if they don't have their onboarding and their processes together. But it also makes me think about sometimes when we get that hustle mentality, it's all about making the money,
Right.
but not fulfilling what you offer.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's what happened with them, but that's what it's starting to look like.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I kind of have two like, I guess, points that I pick up, or maybe two things that as business owners we should look out for. Or, the first thing is, like you said, with religion, I'm always worried about people who put their faith out with their business. There's a lot of very successful business owners who are various religions, and you wouldn't know it, but they have integrity. I'm always worried when somebody tells me they're a Christian and they're in business, because for me, that doesn't make you any more reputable, and it seems like a selling point sometimes. So it's something that I look out for, because your product, your service should speak for itself. Your values should come through in how you deal with things and how you handle me, how you market to me. Your values should come through. And the first thing off the point is, if somebody is promoting their religion, but then they have all this stuff, then to me it seems like a marketing ploy. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, they are Instagram influencers. That's how they're described. And it is very easy to set yourself up. They're both attractive, super attractive, a couple. I mean, they look awesome. They look like they could be out in Hollywood, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's very easy to set yourself up as a reputable person, especially when you look good. I mean, the psychology's there. We respond to people who are visually appealing. I mean, you can look up reports on that. So they have that going for them. People are automatically going to trust them more just because they're clean, they're well put together, they're gorgeous people. If you can also have I looked at the guy's tax website. Tax website is awesome. It's clean cut, no mistakes. I mean, for the most part, it's very modern, great pictures. So if you can present your business in a way that doesn't look rickety or janky, people are going to trust you. So as a business owner, as a person starting a business, when you're looking to either franchise with businesses, or if you're looking to, they're selling apps. Apps were so big for the last couple of years. I have many people coming to me about apps. App development is not a quick thing. It's not a, especially if you're doing it from the ground floor, it's not something that, sign up, there are programs where you can pretty much, cookie cut apps for people. All you do is put their pictures and their logo and stuff. But if you were looking for something, or if these people were looking for something original and something, coded from scratch, those things don't take a week or what. I mean, they don't take, and they cost money too. I mean, if somebody can get you an app for $100, most likely you're getting a cookie cutter app that all they're doing is putting your pictures and your logo on something. So you got to take away from, anybody can pretty much present a business that looks as good as Amazon. They can have, your websites can look as good as Amazon. If you have the right front people, the right influencers, they can look as good as Hollywood stars. So you have to go to protecting yourself by how you give these people money, how much access you give them to your bank accounts, your credit cards, using credit cards, because then you can do chargebacks for some of these things. I've been scammed a couple of times, and the one thing that protected me was the fact that I used my credit card as opposed to having somebody draft something out of my bank account every month. So there's ways to protect yourself from possible scams. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. You're not getting anything for free. People are learning how to manipulate people using new technology, and they prey on people who have good ideas and good intentions, but don't have the technical know-how to implement that. So, if you, that's why we sell or promote things like NAV, because these are things where, you can get the information yourself and make decisions and choices yourself, and you don't have to it's nice when your friend from around the way says, hey, I talked to this guy and they can do this and this, they can improve your credit score, this, that, and the other. But the truth of the matter is that there's a lot of things that all it takes is a Google search that you can help yourself with.
Exactly.
Most of the things I've learned on my own, or I've learned from people that I trust, like Tiffany. Most of the things that I have done in my life, I've had to research them, because people want to charge way too much for information. There's no way you should be paying like $3,000 for courses and things like that. I mean, if you're going to get a certificate at the end of it, maybe, but
right.
But not for some general information that they probably just Googled and compiled. So,
exactly. Well, like I think about, like, I write ebooks, as you know. And my ebooks are cheap. Nothing is over $10.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because information changes all the time.
True.
And I had let me talk. All right. Let me just go back, because I've been ripped off.
Right.
Several times dealing with business. Okay.
Yeah.
I had one fake graphic artist send me fake emails well, I shouldn't say fake emails. What I should say is they used a service that most graphic artists will use to say, this is what I'm sending over to you. As I need your approval to take a look, but it has like the watermark and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've been through that before. I've had someone send me that, and it literally be a file full of nothing. And they were supposed to make a logo, take care of business cards, things like that. And it got to the point where I got so frustrated. I kind of said, I'm going to do this and learn it myself. So my Resellqueen logo, I did that.
Right.
I created my business cards for that. I did that all myself using Canva. Okay. Yep. Because I got fed up with that whole process. Then I had a business coach, who I'm not going to name, who I paid and only had like a 5-minute session. Okay. I was willing to pay more for what they had, but honestly, they never really offered it. They kind of said, I'm going to have a special, and if you want to get some business coaching from me, I'm going to have a special at a special price. And I was like, you know what? I've been following this person. Let me bounce off of a person who doesn't know me.
Right.
That was what I wanted, because you know me. So you might softball me and be like,
right.
Because you know me, like, oh, she ain't gonna take that well. Let me not say it like that. But I need someone that is completely away from what I do to say, from from my perspective, from what I see, it looks like X, Y, and Z, because you need that as a business owner a lot,
Right.
you know? And I had I was ready for my session. I get a text message telling me, oh, I'm going to be a little bit late. I have to go pick up my kids. Okay. I'm a mom. I understand. But you knew that you had a meeting.
Right.
I knew I had a meeting. So you know what I did? I made arrangements for my kids.
Yep.
Oh, you feel me? You didn't do the same? Okay,
Right.
fine. Then we end up speaking briefly, and she was like, we're going to have to reschedule. And then she wanted to know what my business was. So I gave, and I wasn't where I am today. So I kind of gave a small answer of what I do. I do reselling, and I show people how to do that. I didn't really go into all the YouTubes and stuff. And I said, I need help with branding, or how can I really truly make it another business other than just reselling and showing, being an Instagram influencer, that type of thing. And her whole thing was, oh, that sounds so good, Queen. Good job, Queen. Good job, Queen. First question, are you trademarked? And I said, oh, I already have my application. Oh, okay. Didn't tell her my name. Didn't tell her that, because she was like, oh, okay. I said, I've already put in my application. I'm waiting for that. And I said, this is my second trademark. So I'm familiar with the process, but I said, I'm waiting for all of that to come through. She never called me back.
She got some similar name up somewhere.
Well, guess what? If she do, I got a lawyer. Okay. And I was like, and I remember talking about this at the time with my husband. And the thing about my husband is he looks at things from a whole nother angle. He said, she knew she couldn't scam you. That was the first thing he said to me. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, she knew she couldn't scam you because you already had your protections in place. And I didn't even think about that. Never even thought about that. And it's so funny because this particular person, she kind of fell off for about a couple years. And then now she's kind of starting back up, because I still follow them, on all the social medias, and she don't look good. I'm just saying.
Right. I hear you.
I've been blessed since that time period. Yeah. She don't look like she has been.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you are in the business of helping small businesses, and the businesses that you are reaching out to are minority owned businesses, I feel like you have to really understand where a person is. And it's mighty funny. They did this stuff to Black businesses. And all the testimonials of people that I saw, I see no white people.
I noticed that. Hold on one second.
No problem. And with, this company, actually I should say with this particular influencer, they own a few businesses. And the businesses that the Attorney General is talking about that they have the issues with is their Credit Exterminators business, which is now rebranded as Earn. And that particular business is the business that they did credit repair. So it wasn't just business owners, but it was also regular consumers. And that's where they got in trouble, was that they were taking money, and according to some of the responses from people, they weren't getting response back with their money. So I was just kind of going over what they were being accused of by the district attorney. But one of the other things that I think we talked about was being sort of being like authentic and true to your audience. In this, in doing a little bit of research with watching Tasha K, the guest that she had talked about when you see them on Instagram and you see their background, it always looks like they're in like a warehouse or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that is not their place. It is a studio that they rent.
Okay.
Those people in the background that look like they're shipping, they're actors.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
And I'm like, wow. So here you are looking at their, because I'm like, wow. And I've always wondered, I'm like, where is this place?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I know she sells stuff, like t-shirts. Everyone sells t-shirts and stuff like that. So I'm like, wow, that's a very nice looking warehouse. Because I tell you, my place don't look like that.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
and it turns out it's a freaking studio.
Wow.
Set up that way that they rent.
Yeah.
So they're not even authentic from the beginning.
Right.
Which I'm like, whoa. And then now there's some other personal things that this person talked about. Like they talked about in my opinion, the girl, I'm gonna call her Casey because that's her given name. I've seen her talk.
Okay.
I went to an event, I can't even tell you how many years ago it was, and she was very inspirational. Like I don't like saying motivational speakers and stuff like that. I like to say more of an inspirator because to me, in order for a person to make changes, they have to be inspired.
Yes.
You can motivate all you want, but they have to be inspired to do those things. So
right.
I don't know if she was supposed to be talking that day because it was more of like a networking thing, but she gave like a speech. And I remember leaving there like, damn.
Real. So she's charismatic.
She's charismatic. She is on it. She has the true gift of gab and can give a presentation, a speech. She knows what she is doing with that. And I left out of there like, wow, okay. Like, this girl knows what she's talking about. She's very inspirational. She gave, and I was like, wow. So she can really turn it on. She's very good at turning it on, which you have to have in business.
Yes.
Honestly, if you saw me 20 minutes before we did this video, you'd be like, okay. But soon as that theme song comes on, I brighten right on up. Okay.
Yes.
But to find out that that's not a real office, it's just a set.
Yeah.
With people are not doing real shipping. It's just a set. It's not real. It's like, whoa. So y'all really being fake from the get-go.
Right.
And what's really funny, like when all this kind of came out, they were still doing their TikToks, their Instagrams. And then finally, when it really made news, they put out a video at the same fake warehouse talking about if you've had dealings with us, please leave good reviews and comments because we're trying to fight this.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, and then this is my opinion, I can run a business and be great to 99% of my customers. And there's a possibility that there's going to be a 1% that's going to be like, she didn't hold up her end of the bargain.
Right.
And when this person that Tasha K was interviewing, they reached out to her and was like, are you going to answer what's going on? What's happening? Do you need help type of thing? And Dana's response, according to them, was, oh, it's just the cost of doing business.
Wow. Okay.
And this was over a year or so ago because there was a Instagram account. I don't think it's there anymore. That's called Dana Chanel is a Scammer.
Okay.
and it was used as an account for people to discuss having all their issues that they've had with with their companies.
Wow.
So it's been out there for a while, but now you got the attorney general involved.
Right.
So if they are involved, that means they've done their due diligence
Yes,
and
and
done
they've investigated. Yeah.
and they've done an investigation. You know, there was enough issues for them to say, it's not adding up.
Right. Yeah.
So I will say this: when it comes to whatever happens to them, I hope that they learn something from it.
Mm-hmm.
Only not because I feel that they are very inspirational,
Mm-hmm.
that they have good qualities. They could actually take this situation, take whatever penalty they may have to take, and turn it around and say, let me teach you so this doesn't happen to you.
Right.
That's what I think that's something that they could do and
Yeah.
still have all these little businesses that they
Yeah.
have. And I shouldn't call them little businesses, and still have these businesses and turn it around and say, we made some errors. There are some people that we did not do X, Y, and Z with. We thought we were making the best business choice at that time.
Right.
We now know that is not the case. Let me teach you so that you don't have the same pitfalls that we had.
Right.
That's what I'm kind of hoping for them, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Sometimes I hate to say it like this, but sometimes you see people and you know that they're a narcissist.
Yes. Yeah.
So they may not own up to their own issues.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that people that do allegedly do things like this, they have a totally different mentality as to how they see their marks, how they see the people that they have scammed or mistreated or didn't provide services to. And a lot of times, they find a way to justify their behavior. Either it's, I've heard people make comments like, you know, almost to the point that the victim deserved it, or that, they should have been wiser, smarter, better, more savvy, or as to not have been taken advantage by me. You know what I mean? Those types of things. So people like that, they have their own justifications, which they wholeheartedly believe, for why they think it was okay for them to do whatever they did. Just like the woman's comment, I mean, I think is telling the cost of doing business. You know, well, that's really kind of like a horrible remark to make, because people are out of money. They feel wronged, they feel hurt. But to them, they don't even see them as people, or they don't see that emotional vulnerability there. A lot of times people that do things like this, they really feel like the people deserved it, in
Mm.
some ways. And they don't see what they did as wrong. And that is almost like a narcissistic and even kind of a sociopathic way of looking at business. I mean, honestly, we do live in a capitalistic society, which, winner take all, survival of the fittest. These are all things that people really believe in. And I think, you know, as I don't smaller business owners, we can kind of sit back and look and say, okay, this is not my philosophy and not my values, and I do business differently. But we do our business foundations are kind of a, winner take all.
Mhm.
It is kind of cutthroat out there. So,
Mhm.
I don't. It's kind of hard to judge them, for their alleged actions, when they are kind of acting in the same vein as a lot of larger companies and a lot of our business icons. I mean, a lot of people that we look up to have had pretty, dirty starts. So,
Mhm.
you know, even our past president, he was no stranger. He's been sued by the Justice Department, so before being president and stuff. So our culture is one that kind of supports this. It just depends on how you do it. If they can bounce back and do a rebranding and make it look like they've learned something, then probably still wouldn't trust them, because I think anytime you do it from the start, it shows a character flaw,
Mhm.
and even if you sprinkle some Jesus on it, it's not going to make it any better. So,
And I think for me, that's the part that irritates me,
mm-hmm.
is using the faith,
Yeah.
because to me, you're using that and you're being a pariah on church people,
Mm-hmm.
because I would not want to be associated with something like that.
Yeah.
You know, um, it how can I say it just it leaves a very bad taste in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because when you start doing that, it's like, so you're obviously targeting church going Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Those are the people you're trying to scam?
Mm-hmm. Well, because they know they'll be forgiven. I mean, some
True.
really diehard church people are the most forgiving. So you can scam that aspect of your community and know that at some point you'll be welcomed back with open arms if you repent. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's a sad thing. Yeah.
It is.
So,
I kind of, it's just something. It's just, when I read over this and I started looking over, what some other business owners went through, and it's like, gosh, don't you go through enough just in your regular everyday life? Now you got to handle someone that ripped your business off.
mm-hmm.
Not, and these are not people that can go to the bank probably and get $1 million loan for their business.
Right. Right.
Uh, who have a credit line where, they're like, well, we can kind of just absorb it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say it was a couple years ago. I think it was, what's her name? Her last name is Cochran. And she's one of the sharks on Shark Tank. She got
Okay.
scammed.
Barbara. Okay.
Yeah, that's it, Barbara Cochran.
Mm-hmm.
She got her. Well, I can't say she got scammed. Someone in her office did.
Okay.
They got a phishing email of looked like an invoice,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked legitimate, so they paid the invoice.
Right.
Turned out it was a scam.
Yeah.
But you know what? Her business isn't over because of it.
No.
Because she has means. So,
Mm-hmm.
but some of these Black people that they dealt with don't have the means.
Right.
Losing $2,000, because if you think about, like, thankfully now, if this was like 4 or 5 years ago and there was something that I wanted for my business that was going to cost me over $2,000, you know how many months I would have had to save for that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have had to work towards that for months and months and months and months to put that money to the side and not probably even take any income for myself in order to make that sacrifice for my business, for something that I know that I needed. And then to be ripped off.
Yeah.
I don't care what Jesus you got. You going to get cussed out. You might even get some hands. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you go through it, you go through too much to put money towards your business to get ripped off.
Yeah.
And that's the part about it that irritates me more, because, and the thing is, testimonials, if people have testimonials on their website, Those aren't the ones you want. You want the ones that they want scrubbed off the internet.
Right. Yep.
And you know what's really funny? You go into Google, you type Dana Chanel. It comes up Dana Chanel scam.
Yeah, that's sad.
One of the top hits.
Yeah.
That tells you something, because Google takes what people are searching and throws that together because they think that's what you're looking for too.
Right.
There's a reason why that was one of the top searches.
Yeah.
When you start putting that information in, you need to check that out. Yeah. I do that with everything.
Me too.
In fact, I just got a new service that I'm going to talk to you about. That first thing I did was I started Googling. I don't want to hear your testimonials.
Right.
I don't want to hear that. I want to see what people else that you aren't parading in front of me have to say. That's what I want. And that's what you need to do as a business owner. You know, the same way that I think sometimes we give a little bit more trust because it's a business and you have a business, you're forthcoming, you're honest, you have integrity. So you kind of assume the people that you're dealing with have the same thing. But not all the time, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So, wow, we've done a good hour.
Yes.
Yes. Talking about these people. So I think the best takeaway is this: look out for your business the same way you look out for yourself.
Definitely.
You know, if you have, if you think about it, if you're going to get something done to your house, you normally contact someone that you know that owns their house and probably had that same work done. And say, who did that work for you? You probably need to start doing the same thing in business. That's why I like networking groups and things like that, because, or just like, I'll talk to you, I'll talk to another person, or vice versa. We'll talk to each other and say, oh, I'm like, I can't tell you how many times you have given me websites of, oh, check this website out. That would be good for you. And, and vice versa, and also talking with my other friend and saying, hey, you need to work on your onboarding process. That will keep you from having this problem. Those type of things are always helpful.
Right.
You don't have to go out and pay lots of money for someone to act like they're going to scam you.
Yeah. And remember, all that glitters is not gold. Just because something looks good and looks professional does not mean that you are safe. So remember that too. There are people in business who Jasmine's coming. There's people in business who are not traditional, who don't look. We don't look traditional, and who are making money. And this is real, right?
Yeah,
they're making money, and they're not in a studio. They're in their bedrooms, or what have you. Their offices. They don't. So I've got my crew in the background.
Right.
It's just don't go off of looks. They're called Instagram influencers for a reason, because they have a look, they have a market, and they are attractive to a certain niche. So just remember that, money comes in all shapes, sizes, colors. It all doesn't look like, the Kardashians. Sometimes, there are many people out there that are making money that you wouldn't even know. They don't have the most fashionable clothes on. They aren't driving the most fashionable cars. You wouldn't even know that they've got a couple million in their bank.
Exactly. So, I know a multimillionaire right now. He gets his clothes at Walmart.
Right. Right. Save that money.
Right. He gets his clothes at Walmart. And now when he needs to go somewhere, he does get his suits tailored and things like that. But like, why would I spend $80 on a pair of jeans?
Isn't that the truth? Right.
So
yeah.
Well, I think that this concludes our show for this week. I am Tiffy T, the Resellqueen.
And I am Nicole Flamer.
And we are the mommies that handle business.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
At Entrepremommies, we share from experience. Moms talk about things that affect moms in general. Mommy entrepreneurs, we are the moms that handle business, and that means a lot. Remember, Entrepremommies.